My husband spent years putting me down, insisting I was worthless. I waited, moved our money, and walked out the day he lost his job. Now he's penniless, unemployed, back at his mother's, and ringing my phone 30 times a day. I met Robert at O'Mal's, the downtown Friday after work spot. I was out with coworkers from the insurance office where I'm an admin assistant. He oozed confidence, bought me a white claw, bragged about his middle management role at Midwest Manufacturing, and made me feel like I was the one person in the room he'd chosen. We married after 2 years. My friends said it was rushed, especially Kira, my best friend since high school, but I was certain. In hindsight, the warnings were obvious. He pushed to merge our finances, because that's what married couples do, and joked, "Good thing I handle the money, you'd blow it all at Target." With that laugh, everyone else joined. The jokes escalated after the accounts were joint. If I bought groceries, $7 for organic milk. This is why I read the statements. When I got a small raise, "You're not management material, but cute that they tossed you something." When I eyed a promotion, "That's not your lane, I earn enough for both of us." Always softened with, "I'm teasing," or, "You know I love you." I believed him. My parents had the same pattern. Dad ribbing mom about her cooking, her weight, her hobbies. About 2 years ago, the schedule changed. Robert started getting home later, first 7 p.m., then 8. Sometimes he smelled like beer, sometimes like a mall cologne sample. If I asked, it was drinks with the guys, or client entertainment, followed by a comment about how adorable my suspicion was, and how I should focus on whether we needed more LaCroix. Our intimacy shifted too. He stopped initiating unless drunk. When I tried, he'd make observations that stung, poking my stomach. "You've got a little pooch," or, "Your boobs look different since you gained weight." I'm 56, 145 lbs essentially unchanged since we met. I pulled back, and he weaponized it. This is why men cheat wives stop putting out. He never confessed to cheating, but the hint always hovered. Last summer, I noticed our savings looked light. When I brought it up, he blew up. "Are you spying on me? Don't you trust me? I make the real money here." He slammed a door hard enough to knock down the wall art we'd picked together. That night, while he snored, I combed our online banking. Not huge sums, but steady Friday withdrawals, 200 to 300, adding up to thousands over months. At work, I mentioned it to Oliver, my cubicle neighbor, the Robinhood crypto guy. "That's shady," he said. "Start putting money aside, just in case." In case of what? His look said the quiet part, in case it all collapses. So I started small. I opened a Capital One account with a private email. I diverted 100 from each paycheck. He didn't notice. He only checked the joint statements. I took overtime during claim backlogs and kept the extra. Around Christmas, things worsened. He came home from the company party, furious passed over again. "Sebastian," he muttered about the coworker who got it, probably sucking up to the VP. "Your type, right? You're not promotion material." Standing in our kitchen, I realized my husband was mediocre, not just as a partner, but at work. Once that thought arrived, I couldn't unthink it. January brought more digs. My cooking, not everyone can make edible pasta. My friends, "Kira's single because she's impossible to please like someone else I know." My family, "Your sister's kids are loud must run in the family." I started a notes file with dates, times, verbatim quotes. At first to keep myself sane, then it became proof. February, I found new credit card statements. Not our Visa, but a Capital One card I'd never heard of, sent to his work email. He'd left his laptop open and fallen asleep. Charges to Lucky Star Entertainment and VIP room. Google says strip clubs near his office. I didn't confront him. I doubled my secret savings and started browsing apartments on Zillow at lunch. By March, layoff rumors swirled at his company. He drank more Miller Lite, came home prickly, and tossed sharper barbs. "If I lose my job, you'll finally learn what real work is," he'd say, while I calculated how many paychecks I needed before I could leave. Last week, the call came at work. Tight voice. They let me go. Sebastian's team was spared, diversity hire. Then, "Don't make dinner, I'm going out with the guys." He stumbled in at 2 a.m., muttering about ungrateful wives and unappreciated sacrifices. Next morning, he slept till noon. I quietly shifted money from the joint account to my private one. When he finally emerged puffy-eyed, hostile, he laid down the plan. "We're moving in with my parents until I find something. Put in your notice at your little job. It doesn't matter anyway." I said nothing and thought about the apartment I'd already been approved for, the one he knew nothing about. "No opinion?" he sneered. "Of course. You never contribute anything useful." Something in me hardened. 8 years of jokes snapped into focus. I really looked at him, Average thinning hair, growing beer belly, the man who convinced me I was nothing. Actually, I said calm, I do. I told him I was leaving, that I'd planned for months, that I knew about the strip clubs and the missing money. His face cycled through shock, denial, anger, then fear. You can't leave. You're nothing without me. Who would want you? You can't even handle money. I smiled, grabbed the suitcase I'd packed, and walked out. It's been 3 days. I'm writing from my new place, simple one-bedroom near the park. Today alone, he's called 37 times, texted 19, with voicemails ranging from sobs to threats. He's discovered I moved most of our savings legal. My name was on the accounts. He's at his mom's now. No job, no savings, no wife. Just his childhood room and wounded pride. Thank you for the support on my last post. Your comments got me through the wobbly nights. 1 week out, the first freedom feeling was realizing I forgot a phone charger. I spent night 1 at 12 battery, too anxious to sleep, watching Tiny Brightness YouTube about small space organization. The apartment is imperfect clicky bathroom fan, a neighbor kid practicing violin at 7 a.m. But it's mine. I bought a tasseled cloth shower curtain at Target. Robert would have mocked it as basic, plus claim I couldn't even pick bathroom accessories. As for Robert, 127 calls, 89 texts, 15 voicemails in 7 days, starting with "Baby, I'm sorry," morphing into "You ungrateful," and most recently, 2 minutes of heavy breathing. I haven't replied, though I'd be lying if I said it doesn't rattle me. My Mael, Flora, came to my job in tears, said he isn't eating or showering, that he lost everything. I felt a twinge until she added, "He's sorry about the strip clubs. Men need attention when their wives are, you know." Guilt gone. I didn't mention the gambling receipts, the 23,000 hidden card debt, or the payday loans I uncovered. The strangest part is the everyday. Coffee for one, shopping for one. Turns out I hate the bread he insisted on. I come home to quiet, not a list of my failures. I still pause, waiting for his reaction. Then remember, I don't need it. Kira has been a rock, shows up with takeout, helps arrange furniture, and doesn't judge when I melt down over laundry detergent brands, because he always chose them. Yesterday, I cried in Target over plastic versus velvet hangers. She hugged me in the storage aisle until I could breathe. Money is messy. He's telling people I stole our savings, skipping the part where my name was on the accounts, and I took only what I'd put in. Sebastian, yes, the promoted coworker, DM'd me congratulations. Apparently, Robert smeared him at work and tried to sabotage him. That's why he was fired, not downsizing. Last night, I ordered pineapple pizza, his people with no taste line echoing in my head, and ate it on my cheap new couch, watching the brain rot reality show in Target leggings he called lazy clothes. It tasted like freedom lonely in moments, a little cold by the end but mine. I know I'm scattered. 1 minute proud, the next second guessing. This morning I stared at my reflection, trying to see the stupid, worthless woman he described. I just saw me tired. A little scared. Still standing. He's still at his mom's, still jobless, still calling. Now his friend's wife's message to say, I'm breaking up a family. Meanwhile, I'm learning how to build a life that belongs to me. I hadn't planned to post again so soon, but after today I need to unpack it. It began with a delivery, just a regular DoorDash. Thai from the spot near my new place. I was working from home while the internet was finally being installed. The bell rang. I opened the door without thinking. Not DoorDash Robert. He was on my doorstep with supermarket flowers still in the crinkly sleeve. The 9.99 sticker showing. He looked thinner, unshaven, wearing that ancient college hoodie. For a split second, habit almost made me let him in. Instead, I shut the door and fumbled the deadbolt with shaking hands. Babe, please, he called through the door. I just want to talk. I've changed. I'm in therapy. Narrator note, he isn't. Flora told Kira he refused. I didn't answer. I sat on the entryway floor with my back against the door while he cycled through his greatest hits. I'm sorry. You're overreacting. Remember how good we were. You're being dramatic. I miss you. You're nothing without me. I love you. You ungrateful. 45 minutes of that. My sweet across-the-hall neighbor, the one who waters my plants, called the police. By the time officers arrived, he'd gone, but he'd slipped a letter under the door. I haven't opened it. It's on my counter like a live device. The police took a report, told me to call if he returns, and suggested cameras, which I'd already ordered. Thanks to folks who recommended them on my last post. He got my address from Flora. She asked Kira's sister because she was worried. I'm not even angry with Flora now. She's tangled up in his manipulation too. She truly thinks he's the injured party. After they left, I had a small panic attack in the bathroom, not movie level, just sitting on the closed toilet, doom scrolling TikTok and trying to breathe normally. I took the rest of the day off. My boss was kind. She's been through something similar. It's wild how many people share their stories once you share yours. Kira came after her last client with wine and Trader Joe's freezer apps from our college days. We ignored Robert, watched trash TV, and debated whether the stain on my ceiling is a duck or a rabbit. What rattled me most? Robert looked small, not just thin or diminished. The man who spent years shrinking me suddenly felt weaker than the shadow he cast in my head. I'm still scared, still mad, still sad. Mostly I'm exhausted of jumping at every buzz, checking the rear view for his car, waiting for the next shoe to drop. Other fronts, changed every password, again, finally got my own Netflix goodbye to his watch list, ordered a Ring doorbell, started real therapy, not the kind he pretends to do, and adopted a shelter cat named Potato, who judges my every move. Life, annoyingly, rolls on. Dishes to unload, plants to water, a litter box to scoop. The universe does not pause because your ex melts down on your stoop. The DoorDasher did show food, was cold. I ate it anyway. The letter's still on the counter. Part of me wants to torch it. Part wants to read it. Most of me wants to erase today. Yesterday, I treated myself to Whole Foods hot bar mac and cheese, no judgment, and literally cart bumped into Sebastian. Yes, that Sebastian Robert blamed for everything. You know that freeze when you see someone you know and don't know if you should say hi? Multiply by 1,000 when it's your ex's ex-coworker he swore ruined his life. Sebastian just smiled and asked how I was. We grabbed Starbucks inside. Here's what finally clicked everything into place. Robert wasn't cut in a downsizing or replaced by Sebastian. He was terminated for falsifying expenses, client meetings, at strip clubs filed as business, team lunches costing hundreds, solo sports bar tabs where he gambled. The kicker? The company offered repayment and a demotion. He responded with a tirade about Sebastian, who had nothing to do with it, and made threats HR couldn't ignore. Sebastian even showed me screenshot slurs, threats. And apparently, Robert told people Sebastian was sleeping with me. We'd never spoken until that coffee. I sat there, hands around cooling coffee, realizing the man I married was even more of a stranger than I thought. Elsewhere, Potato believes 3 a.m. is prime parkour hour. I brought the letter to therapy and read it. 8 pages swinging between apology and blame. The Ring is installed, worth every penny. I started YouTube yoga. Robert always said yoga was for people not smart enough for real exercise. I found an old dating era journal eye-opening. Those entries sting, me gushing that I was lucky he chose me, promising to work harder to deserve him. An entire page about spending 3 hours on his favorite dinner after he said I cook like someone who hates food. Flora called. After the usual guilt pitch about Robert crying and not eating, she admitted, I should have seen it. He's just like his father. His dad didn't leave for a job. He left after gambling away savings and maxing out cards in her name. History, meet echo. I'm not really angry now. Mostly it's that post-shoes feeling, immediate relief. But the marks take time to fade. What's changed in 3 months? I watch what I want without commentary. Groceries cost half. Turns out I don't need pricey bars and energy drinks. I mostly sleep through. My plants are alive. My real laugh is back, not the quiet one he preferred. What hasn't? I overcheck the mirror and my phone. Apologize for everything. Freeze over simple choices. Miss him in odd flashes, like seeing his favorite cereal on sale. Before we left, Sebastian handed me his card. If you ever need anything. Not flirty, he's happily married. Just someone who understands. I was comparing plastic storage bins at Target. Apparently adulthood equals getting excited about organizing, when someone said, skip those, the lids crack. Flora, my former MIL, stood there holding cat litter. I froze. My cart screamed, single. Frozen meals for one. A new shower curtain. That TikTok famous lavender spray, evidence of a life without her son. She just gave a tired, genuine smile. That litter you suggested for Potato? I got a cat too. Robert moved out of her house last month. He's on a friend's couch, still jobless, still blaming everyone. Flora looks lighter. She's in therapy and a book club. We had Starbucks together, no drama, no tears. Just 2 women chatting about cats, novels, and the eternal bin lid problem. I'm sorry, she said. For him and for me, not seeing it sooner. He's so much like his father, and I didn't want to admit it. Life since my last post. Upgraded to a slightly better apartment. Hello, dishwasher. Potato has accepted that 3 a.m. is not parkour time. Finally blocked Robert everywhere after his latest blow-up. Opened my first real credit card in my own name. Learning to cook. My smoke detector keeps me humble. Healing is oddly domestic. Realizing I kept buying his favorite snacks when I don't even like salt and vinegar chips. Catching myself apologizing to my coffee maker when I bump it. Unlearning constant, sorry. Tiny wins that feel huge. Ordered food without triple price checking. Wore red lipstick he called trashy. Used the good towels on a Tuesday. Called my mom without rehearsing. Bad days still happen. Yesterday, I nearly spiraled in the toothpaste aisle, 20 minutes frozen by too many choices. But the good days are winning now. Robert still lurks at the edges, made a scene at a friend's wedding. Drunk ranting that I stole his life. He's telling people I cheated with Sebastian and took all his money. I withdrew exactly what I contributed. He was broken long before me. The difference is, I don't care anymore, not performatively. Just in that way, background noise fades when you've been away from it long enough. Flora hugged me before we left. She said she's proud of me and asked to get coffee again. I said, maybe, and meant it. I bought the bins she recommended. They're in my living room waiting to be filled. Potato is asleep in one, because of course she is. This is probably my last update. Not because life's perfect, it isn't. I still jump at phone rings, rehearse conversations, and try to make myself smaller. But I'm learning, growing, healing. If you're in a similar place, you're not crazy, too sensitive, or overreacting. And you're absolutely not nothing.